Everybody, welcome to the Leading Brand live edition of Raw. August, let's see now, what is it, 14th? Somewhere around there. This week's Raw 2017. And before we start the show, I'm going to mention three things. El Patron is stripped of his title for
Yay.
Impact Wrestling. Ric
Forgot about
Flair
that.
is in coma. And they're live in Boston, Massachusetts for Monday Night Raw. I'm your host, James Belknap. And gentlemen, present yourselves.
I am Tony Lopez.
And this is the great Jeffrey Vertis.
And again,
You
once
heard
again,
me.
I'm the fabulous James Belknap. And this is the Leading Brand. Let's start off with the intro. Gentlemen, how much of a payoff did you like on this? Dean Ambrose comes out and he cuts off his music early to call Seth Rollins out. Now, for answers about what are they exactly? And Seth called Dean Ambrose a liar and says that they can run this place if they join in together. Then guess what? Seth gave the fist. Dean Ambrose. So another teaser. And then it turned into a yelling match. And eventually Seth even mentions that he can't trust himself. So a born again face. And the born again face part plays good for a face-to-face promo because it allows this idea of, hey, I've gone through my demons and I have these demons that prevent between us two. And then Dean gives a fist. And Seth Rollins teased with, nah, man. So now it starts into a shoving match and then a fight breaks out. Then eventually the Bar comes out and start beating them up. And then of course, the Bar. You look stupid chants happen. They beat the Bar out of the ring. And it was just a funny little event of inner conflict. Dean gives fist. Then as he retracts, Seth gives fist. They put it back and just go, boom, both of them in there.
The power of the fist.
Because the crowd didn't know. It's like, oh, they're really going to they keep on teasing us. They did it! They did it!
Yeah.
Yes.
As this happens, Kurt Angle comes out and announces the tag team match for the Raw Tag Team Championship at SummerSlam. The Shield versus the Bar. Was this payoff legitimate?
Oh, it was worth
Oh,
it.
it was good. It was
Good. They kept messing with our emotions, saying, "Oh, is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? It's not gonna happen." You know what? It is happening. You better not leave me hanging, you two. And there we go. Crowd erupted because this is like the final piece of the Shield finally on the same page. Because let's face it, Reigns and Rollins, they get along. Ambrose and Reigns get along, but now they finally get back along. But
the question is, when are they going to finally form the full Shield?
They got to get an opponent big enough. They got to get a team big enough to compete with them. I'm thinking the Miztourage, maybe.
I got something for that in our prediction show.
Yes. Okay, then.
Any last thoughts?
I feel like we have waited for at least a partial Shield reunion, like an actual partial Shield reunion for a while. Not just Dean and Roman. We needed Seth. We needed Seth a part of the whole thing. And we've got Seth and Dean. That's one part. Now we need Roman. Now, how is it going to happen? We don't know yet. We'll have to see.
And then it goes to commercial break. When they came back, they addressed the Ric Flair situation, which updates throughout. Which, Tony, being the social media person, you probably have an update on that.
From what I'm understanding, Ric Flair went to the hospital with abdominal pain and had surgery, and apparently still in critical condition. So if anybody knows anything else, just keep Rick in your prayers, keep the family in your prayers, and just hope everything goes okay, because I mean, Ric Flair did survive a plane crash before as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we all wish very well for anybody who's going through any kind of situation, especially with me experiencing working at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody we like to see better, no matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happens it hits close to our kayfabe home, and
It just hits home to all of us because we grew up with Ric Flair on our TV screens, and really just anywhere when you think of styling and profiling, you think of Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be different when he's gone. It's going to be hard to just woo, if he's just gone.
I would be very emotional. I would be very upset. So Ric Flair, keep fighting, keep living, man. I'm not ready to say goodbye.
So being the go home show, we have to tie in some loose ends. We have for the women's championship, the number one contender match, Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks. Now, hometown Sasha Banks, they're in Boston. What is the number one thing we think about when we think about wrestler in hometown?
Hometown,
They lose.
They always lose.
Especially the last time, it was Hell in a Cell, the last match, the women's match. They just made a fool of her while still making her look strong at the same time. Now, Alexa, fun part, was not in commentary. She was actually ringside on this lifeguard platform. Is the best way to see it. The beach chair kind of thing. And the only thing I really recognized was the spot where Nia stopped a Hurricane Rana to throw Sasha into the barricade. That was good. And Sasha kicked out of the atomic leg drop, which, with to be honest, a very, very lazy arm raise. She barely raised her arm, barely even get off the mat.
Mm-hmm.
And a thought, Nia taps out to the bank statement. Has Nia even been pinned yet in WWE or NXT?
NXT, she did tap out. She tapped out. She did not get pinned.
That's the only way she truly lost. But there's only one place I can think of that she got pinned, and that was the Fatal 4-Way. I'm trying to remember exactly which pay-per-view.
WrestleMania.
She got pinned. She did get pinned at WrestleMania, yes.
But it was a 3-person pin, which was hilarious, to be honest. But
it protected her. It protected her, kept her looking strong. They all had to gang up to keep her pinned. But in terms of submissions, I've seen her mostly tap out but never get pinned.
Bank statement, the guillotine headlocks. Nothing really.
Wait a minute. What about Asuka?
What did she do? That's actually a good question.
Oh, she pinned her. Y'all, she pinned her.
Wow, we got one pin each brand so far. So we have Sasha Banks winning, going to SummerSlam with the number one contendership for Alexa Bliss title, which would be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, it was quite predictable.
It was face versus heel. I guess to appease the crowd. Finally, a hometown hero wins, but we all knew this was coming the moment Bayley was injured. It was going to Sasha.
Yeah, sadly it was.
Very disappointing.
Then we move on to multiple promos to be out right before it went to break. Multiple things happened. Kurt Angle Kurt Angle looking at the television properly, from camera on this angle. So I felt better than this whole, sideways looking at the TV screen kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it showed from the backside. I like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So little improvements. The little things matter when it comes to trying to convince me how the WWE works. He was talking to the Hardys. More tease, delete. Just waiting for him to be broken, or at this point, they saying he's awoken. The whole thing is, Revival. There's the injury to can't remember his name right now. Is Dawson?
Dawson.
Scott Dawson.
Scott Dawson.
Scott Dawson.
Dashwall. Scott
He has
Dawson.
the injury, so they give him a quick promo. Then all of a sudden, The Miz interrupts with the Miz Taraj. And it was mostly the discussion of last week how he wants Jason Jordan. Okay, I'm fine with that. But then The Miz gets interrupted by a ref. And the ref's talking about, hey, there's a fight going on between Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, and then it leads on to the break. And then when they come back from the break, those two are brawling, and then it was announced by Kurt Angle after he split them up. You don't want to wait for SummerSlam? Then you got your SummerSlam match tonight. It's like, really? We're getting our SummerSlam matches tonight?
Yay! Free TV.
If you want to sell the network, but if you want to
as
be a casual fan, hey. So then that match was announced. Quick promo, Elias push promo is what I'm going to call it. Elias, to be honest, intros. It's starting to finally get over. People are starting to react to it positively and negatively, and in larger fashion. Which it's starting to work, but it's because he's a bigger guy and everyone's starting to see it. So I don't know if it's ironic or genuine, but hey, it works for them. He gets interrupted by R-Truth. Knocks out R-Truth right before he fully gets in the ring. And the only thing I can really note is Elias is being called Samson by everyone in the commentary, although they dropped his last name.
I guess. I mean, sure. Yay. Maybe Elias can get over with the fans. It's hard to say at this moment.
I mean, to me, it's working on the main roster when it didn't work on NXT.
The main roster crowd is way different than the NXT crowd. We've already established this multiple times.
Yeah,
I think
this is true. Look at the fashion police.
I think that it's also part of the fact of the Smarks are trying to be, ironic about it. It's like, if you want to make it work, they want to make it work the wrong way.
Exactly.
Big promo right here. Big Cass, Big Show, and Enzo. Colin Cassidy comes out. Keep on getting booed right beside the shark cage. Every time. This Sunday at Summer. Could not get a word in. And then he finally started talking over people. And the whole time. Boo. Boo. So
we don't like you. Go home.
He's getting heat. I'll give him that.
His intro
sounds not the good kind of heat.
He gets booed constantly. He's trying to use it in his favor. He's trying to laugh on the situation, to the point of possibly corpsing. But he finally just powers through it, and generic heel storyline promo. I want this and this and this and this. I'm surprised the what chant didn't start, but you know why I didn't know what chant started? Boo!
That's perfect.
I feel like halfway he did not believe in his promo. He was still showing his scared side a little bit. Then Enzo interrupted the promo. It's a back and forth, and then the Big Show comes out eventually. And then the club starts helping Cassidy out. And then they destroy Big Show's right hand, getting a belt, wrapping it around, putting it in the shark cage, slamming it on there, stepping occasionally over and over and over again, showing that he can't hit his punch.
They're selling the fact that he's going to be injured. He's selling it pretty well. They're targeting the right hand, so
it protects him. But I also want to see, I'm already thinking that he's probably going to win with the left if he wins.
No.
I'm not thinking that at all.
Well, granted, it's also a question of who wins, who loses, which we'll do in a prediction show. But if he wins, I feel like either A, Enzo helps, or B, left.
I'm thinking it would be an interesting outcome at SummerSlam.
Maybe.
Well, we're going to have our prediction show where you can elaborate on that situation. But what we need to elaborate is what exactly happened with the Cruiserweight title match. Something that was supposed to be on SummerSlam, which, to be honest, has been a pretty damn good match with all these big guys. We really wanted to see some high flyers. But then they put it in free TV. And then
another match meant for SummerSlam on free TV. Okay.
Titus and Akira Tozawa's chemistry is phenomenal. I really like it. It's a lot better than Apollo Crews and Titus and Neil. It's really just showing like the feeling of we can believe. And I knew that at SummerSlam, if I was to make the prediction that Akira Tozawa was going to win. And what happened?
He won. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I
So-
love the.
No, it was a matter of which he won.
It's also a matter of when, because you can tell that push was coming when they kept on putting him there, and then he started doing the injury angle. That was a big indicator to me that it was Akira Tozawa that was going to take it, and not someone like Austin Aries.
Good. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Akira Tozawa was the closest to Brady as I could see to even challenge Neville for his reign. Sits long reigns. All long live the king. But I mean, it would be so much better if you would have saved this moment for SummerSlam, and especially in that Brooklyn crowd. Oh man, that would have been a nice pop. But I guess they wanted to give the people in Boston a good show. So hey, you got it on free TV. More power to them.
Well, I mean, I think WWE is finally starting to learn about their whole "hey, we don't put on good shows before pay-per-views" thing. By giving us an actual good show before a pay-per-view.
But the question is, for certain things such as this Emma promo, what are you actually putting on your show before the actual pay-per-view? Especially since Emma's not going to be really involved. She was complaining, and to be honest, there's really putting her on TV. I'm starting to wonder, is it really going to be a title run for her? Or
No.
Is we're going to have feud, or is this just filler at this point?
I think it might be a potential feud, but nowhere near a title run.
Because she gets her match against Mickie James, which I'll skip ahead to that match right now. I mean, it starts off like a squash match in favor of Mickie James. Emma takes control for quite a length of time. And to be honest, there's no real spots in there. But it was just so many pin attempts, and you could see that she was struggling, and you knew, oh, you're not going to win. A roundhouse kick to the face by Mickie James. 1, 2, 3.
That is all I got to say.
She has seen a lot of losses.
Oh, jeez.
She needs some help. She needs to be in help, or she'll be stuck in limbo.
Maybe somebody named Dana could help?
She's busy with getting help from Titus.
I want to say Titus Brand on that one, man. Titus Brand worldwide.
I just think their chemistry in NXT was phenomenal. No pun intended. Phenomenal.
Oh, that is clearly pun intended.
Yeah, actually, I just thought about their rivalry their chemistry back then. Yeah, that could work out pretty well. Now, imagine also with Lana and Tamina going on, that actually can start off multiple feuds. Because also think about it, Sheamus and Cesaro. Let's see now, they were started off because they were rivalry. I'm thinking of Breezango and the Golden Truth. They were tag teams in different mix-ups until they battled against each other. Both turned, and then boom. All of a sudden, everyone's mixed up and they're better tag teams, to be honest. They could work out just as well, especially with two groups like that. And if they can do this whole switcheroo, you never know.
Exactly.
So, moving back to a match actually that's in the show. Granted, it was right after the Emma promo. It was Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. They get their matchup. All right. So it was a quick start. Finn coming off very strong, but Wyatt obviously playing the stronger physical role. And it's, to be honest, the easiest way to say it is just creative of how he deals damage. Back and forth match, no real big spots. You can tell that even though they were saying that they were getting their match now, that they were saving the true stuff later on, either for a spot or for SummerSlam, which we'll get to in a moment. Zoom in on Bray Wyatt's face continuously when Bray Wyatt wins with Sister Abigail, which is hilarious.
He won?
He won. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
But then they keep on showing his close-up, and it's like...
He's going crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's a little fun put in front of his face, but then all of a sudden, the crows come out kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it comes back, and they poured what appears to be blood. What they said is high viscous acid. PG doesn't allow blood, so it's acid.
It was pretty gross.
And Finn Balor was rolling in it, trying to rub his eyes. I think it was a shoot when it came to him trying to actually rub it out of his eyes because it just seemed like it would never leave his eyes.
Still gross, still kind of gross and kind of disgusting. But I mean, hey, Bray Wyatt gets a win, and then he does this. Oh man,
it makes me feel more powerful. It makes me feel believing, like, oh crap, I need to listen to his promos because if he's going to do that again,
if he does that again, yes, I can actually care for him. I mean, if he does stuff like that to every time he wins, hey, sweet. But it does set up an angle after the match, right, James?
Well, the aftermath of it, all of a sudden they show Finn Balor coming out of Kurt Angle's office. And then he mentions that, he has a lot of demons too. And then you'll see it, that he got his match.
Oh, we're getting the demon at SummerSlam.
See,
for the first time since SummerSlam.
I would be fine with the teaser if they didn't have, like, the graphic and everything. And they should have showed, like, an older graphic. But they showed an obviously made-up new graphic in recent where you spend 3 hours in the chair getting painted and everything. But show me an old graphic, and then tease me that's going to be something different. Show me, like, the WrestleMania one that he used. The TakeOver one that he used. Show me one that, is previous so it can tease me of how they can do a new one of him looking. I would have been fine with that. Then I would have been more believable for me, but such as such.
Hey, I just want to see the entrance. Demon Balor's entrance is on point.
With the exclusion of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one,
I like that one.
I'm not the biggest fan of that one.
Can I be honest? The only reason I don't like that one is because that's the one they put on the WWE 2K17 video game.
Oh, calm down.
I don't like it.
I like it.
But whether or not we like it, hopefully they'll come out something better. Especially, it'll be great if he comes out with his own lantern.
Ooh.
Crawling around with the lantern. That show the dynamicness of his character. Speaking of dynamic, who's not.
And what if it had, instead of a regular white glow, it had a red glow with smoke coming out of it?
Now we're talking.
Man, you know how to make things exciting, don't you, Tony?
Oh, yeah, I'm creative.
So, looking into it, speaking of someone who is not really great at being, dynamic, Jason Jordan and The Miz. Jason Jordan. To be honest, I think I found out what it needs. It needs a rap mix to improve for his music.
Oh.
To be honest, someone who doesn't need the lyrics, is Seth Rollins. Someone who does is Jason Jordan.
Some good rap. Ooh.
All
right, CFO, get on to it. Make some lyrics for this.
The face gets a good start. Jason Jordan, obviously. It was even coming to a squash match. Really, let's remind ourselves who's the Intercontinental Champion here is The Miz. But you're really weakening up Miz in this one, and even the Miz Trash had to help him out after he gets his finisher, and then Hardy's come out to help Jason Jordan out to fight the Miz Taraj. Then in the middle of the freaking commercial, they made a 6-man tag. Holla holla.
What is it with tag teams?
What is it with 6-man tags?
Oh, you can't say.
Can I be? I don't like 6-man. No. I don't like 6-man tags. I don't mind multi-man matches, but 6-man tags are overdone to the death of the show.
I'm fine if 3 teams face off against each other and 2 people each. I can deal with that. What I can't deal with is 3 versus 3. That's overdone.
Marvel versus Capcom.
By the way, if Jason Jordan ever goes for the title, who to be honest had a push that was worse, Roman or Jason at that point?
Ooh.
Depending on which Roman push we're talking about.
That's actually a good question.
First time or second time?
First time.
If we're talking, I actually wanted Roman to win the title first time after his little tirade after TLC.
But then Royal Rumble happened.
Royal Rumble, I was not having it.
Nobody in Philadelphia was, sir. Not even
And
The
then-
Rock, apparently.
And then I was talking about Royal Rumble where the title was on the line. And then WrestleMania 32, don't even get me started. We were all there. We were not having it.
So, obviously, with the impromptu match, babyface, babyface, BS win. It was a back and forth match. It was whatever. It was highly predictable. It wasn't even that exciting. It was predictable. It was meant for the kids, to be honest, until it leads to the main event meetup. Kurt Angle comes out, introduces the match and the competitors. But first, we have to note that security is outside the ring. What does security outside the ring mean to you guys?
Someone's going to start a brawl.
Brawl time. So first, it starts with Lesnar comes out with Paul Heyman. And to be honest, the entrance is not the same without the pyro.
I need pyro. Quit making budget cuts. Give me the pyro. I want pyro.
I need pyro for certain things. Like Sheamus' entrance, it works fine right now only because he has the mixture with Cesaro. But without that, I really need that pop. And Lesnar needs that pop. Kane, I won't expect Kane to come back until they have the pyro back.
And then also Lesnar, Styles. I need Styles to have that pyro.
Everyone needs some kind of pyro of some sort, and don't worry about having the pyro in the beginning. I'm fine with that.
Goldberg needs pyro.
Actually, I feel like not everybody needs pyro necessarily on Raw or SmackDown, but when it comes to the pay-per-views, if you don't have pyro, I will scream.
That's the one place that needs the pyros, but Lesnar's entrance comes out.
Especially
Heyman, I can't say this enough, but Heyman, there's certain times where he cuts a good promo. He's just damn good at cutting promos. But there's times where it's like the promo of his life. Whether or not it is, he cuts it like it is the promo of his life. And he cuts one saying what everyone thinks in their mind about ratings, possible brawls, conspiracy, spoilers, the Illuminati. No, not the Illuminati. But he tells
Judaism. Wait, what?
what's on everybody's mind. He pretty much what he does is he reads, or whoever writer reads it, he reads what's on the internet and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna use this to turn people on this one," and he does.
Exactly.
And that's what Heyman's great at. And quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't make predictions. I provide you spoilers." And then he tells them, if Brock Lesnar loses the title, him and I will leave. If he wins, not only does he outwitted and all that stuff to three people, but I have been underselling this man, the legend, the beast incarnate, the undisputed champion,
reigning, undisputed, universal champion, Brock Lesnar.
And I'm just sitting here like, oh, just shut up and take my money already. And then next comes out Samoa Joe, and he threatens Lesnar mostly. It's like, the basic thing of Samoa Joe, not really talking, more of stare downs, and which, by the way, doesn't help that I kind of look like him because I'm Filipino and him being Samoan, so it doesn't help that looks the same. But Braun comes out and he does his normal threats. He just wants to throw bodies on the floor. And then Roman freaking Reigns. What does Roman Reigns do? Spears Samoa Joe. Doesn't even have a freaking promo. Just takes the heel heat. Boom. So who starts the brawl?
Mr. Belknap, you forgot somebody.
Strowman. You forgot about Strowman.
You forgot Mr. Strowman.
I already mentioned Strowman. Braun Strowman, what he did is come out and he pretty much said, "I want the bodies at the floor."
Oh, that's what you said.
Oh.
Okay.
He doesn't really cut a promo at that point. He just said, he pretty much had his sight on the championship, and all he wanted is destruction.
Yes. Carnage. Beautiful.
Samoa Joe gets speared. Braun power slams Roman, and then Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. All of a sudden, all the security gets in the ring. They come out and they start trying to pull him apart. And we all know how this is going to go. Everyone takes a bump.
Yeah, it's
Everyone gets
Undertaker,
thrown
Brock
around.
Lesnar all over again.
Hey,
Hell,
it
it's
works.
Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar all over again. Hell,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
insert sweaty man versus sweaty man right here.
It's almost every time Lesnar is involved, there's going to be security.
And a lot of security, might I add.
Well, I would say about 12 guys get thrown off. Then, of course, the locker room comes out, which is not much of a locker room at that point. Comes out.
I don't know. One of them, like, completely gets, like, a good right hand from Brock Lesnar, and you can hear it on the replay. And I'm just like, okay. You know, one of the guys from the locker room get a good. It's either one of the locker room guys or one of the security guys gets a good right hand, and Braun comes over and just gives them a boot to the chest.
Because only if Jericho was there. Because if that happens, Jericho will come up to Lesnar and pretty much want to pick a fight with him.
Oh, Jesus.
You know how Jericho is. He truly fears absolutely nobody.
Yeah, this is true.
So they were restraining and they fight off. They keep them apart, and they should have ended it a little earlier because I would like it all of a sudden that the two come together to clash again and then fade to black. But they waited to be pulled apart again, then fade to black. I wanted that cliffhanger like they did with
Rusev and Orton.
Yeah, Rusev and Orton. I love that. Well, obviously, Rusev was tipped off by Orton whistling. If you heard that in the broadcast, you hear a big old whistle. He turns around. You see the credit, smack, and then end. Yes, that's how you.
I
end.
didn't actually notice the whistle until you said it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He does this. He puts his arms up, then Frit around.
What I would like for one that either SmackDown or Raw to do is at the end have both of them clash, like get like a spear, and then just before they are clashing, fade to black or something. That would be very awesome for me.
Because I would like to make it feel like the crowd gets something that we don't get. Even though they get dark matches sometimes, what I want is, hey, the crowd all of a sudden gets to see more than what the live audience does. Because how many times have I been to live events at American Airlines Center and we don't get dark matches, we don't get anything like that. We don't get anything real special because, we got WrestleMania. Oh, we got a pay-per-view coming up. We're not going to give you anything special.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
So, gentlemen, how do you feel about the go-home show for Raw that leads to SummerSlam?
For Monday Night Raw, very entertaining. I'll give it above average. That's for sure.
Okay. This was a better go-home show than recent go-home shows for WWE Raw. My only gripe is, why are you giving some of the matches that we're going to see at SummerSlam away to free TV? I mean, it made no sense. Finn and Bray. Bray winning clean at a go-home show. He's not winning at SummerSlam. That's without a shadow of a doubt. There's no way. And then it makes no sense for the Cruiserweight title to change at a Raw. You say that for SummerSlam, and where you get, oh my God, this just happened. Now the moment is spoiled. And if Neville, who knows, if Neville gets the belt back at SummerSlam, fine. If he doesn't, okay, Akira Tozawa, let's see how well you can carry the Cruiserweights, because Neville carried the Cruiserweight division on his back for 6 months. I mean, I still believe he should have been champion because there's no one on Neville's level. But Akira Tozawa, my whole thing is just to save the moment for SummerSlam and make me care about the pay-per-view. Other than that, good go-home show.
Yeah, my personal review, I think it's a great go-home show. Let's be honest, it's great versus what a normal go-home show is, but a go-home show has a lot of stigma in being it's not going to be a great show. And so we're measuring it on a different measuring stick. So if we measure on a normal show stick, to be honest, it's average, slightly above, only because they had to put the title matches and all the other matches from SummerSlam, which I understand because, you have a 3-hour show. You want to have the normal feuds and have everything rolling, but you can't fit everything on the 4-hour show. So, I mean, the pay-per-view, especially when you're sharing with another brand, you have to narrow it down. You have to cut back at least 2 shows. So,
Now, I have a question for you, gentlemen. Was there ever a time in any era where go-home shows were actually, my God, good?
Attitude Era.
Attitude Era is a different measuring stick of its own also. But we had to go through 2 eras to arrive to a good go-home show.
I'm going to have to look that up because I remember there were some good go-home shows. Maybe not in the Ruthless Aggression era, maybe not in the PG era, but 2 eras since we had a good go home show. I find that hard to believe.
Jeffrey, it's definitely been a while.
This is the 3rd era since the Attitude, and that was a good show. And I've been watching for years, and I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything that just it. Granted, I think it was a little promo heavy sometimes, but versus the normal go home show, that was light.
I like that you mentioned that it was a little promo heavy because when I do my review of a net show, I've got a lot of things that I would like to say about SmackDown.
But of course, this is the end of the Monday Night Raw, the Go Home show, and of course, as usual, this is on YouTube. So this is a live event. This is actually new for us. So of course, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing, gentlemen. Anything else to say?
Peace be upon you, and subscribe. And if you like the dislike button, well, I guess you can be obsolete like 6-man tags.
Ooh. Like, peace, and we will answer your comments down below. Believe me when I say that, we will.
All you have to do is initiate, and guess what? You'll never know what you come out of this. And of course, for Jeffrey Burtis and Tony Lopez, my name is James Belknap for the Stadium Junkies Media Podcast, and we'll see you next time.